Otis College of Art and Design presents Building a Linear Form with me, Chris Badger. In this video, we'll be constructing a 6-inch cube with a diagonal truss system using 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch clear pine molding. You're going to need 30 feet of 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch clear pine molding or balsa wood, a miter box and a saw, a combination square, 1 roll of masking tape or painter's tape, 1 small bottle of wood glue, some 100 or 120 grit sandpaper, an 18-inch ruler, a gridded cutting mat, and a clean rag. The point at which 2 different pieces of wood are joined together is called a joint. We'll be using 2 different types of joints in this project: a butt joint and a miter joint. A butt joint is the most basic of all woodworking joints. It's produced by simply butting the end of one piece of wood up against the face of another and gluing them together. A miter joint is produced by cutting the ends of 2 pieces of wood at a diagonal and gluing them together end to end. This kind of joint gives a cleaner look because it does not leave any of the end grain of either piece exposed, and it is stronger than a butt joint because the glued surface area of the diagonal cut is greater than that of the straight butt cut. In order to construct our cube and support it with a truss system, we're going to need 8 miter cut pieces, each 6 inches on the long side, 4 butt cut pieces, 5 inches each. These 12 pieces will define the 12 edges of our cube. We will also need 24 miter cut pieces at 4 7/32 of an inch. These will be the trusses that give our cube strength and rigidity. Measure each length carefully using your ruler and make your cut lines using your combination square. Measure and cut the pieces one at a time. Do not lay out all of your pieces end to end and then cut them apart. Take your time to measure and mark your wood accurately. An imprecise mark here will result in a misaligned cut to your wood. This will require you to begin again with a new piece, causing you to waste time and materials. Accuracy, not speed, is important at this stage. Now we'll cut our wood. There is a lip along the bottom of the miter box. Position it against the edge of your table. Line up the pencil mark on your wood with the 45-degree slot of the miter box. Slide your saw into the 45-degree slot of the miter box. Each time that you make a cut with a saw, a portion of your wood that is proportional to the thickness of your saw, a measurement called the kerf, is reduced to sawdust. The kerf will add up, compounding as you move down the line, and your pieces will all end up being too small. Accuracy is very important. Check your pieces as you go along, and recut any pieces that deviate more than 1/32 of an inch from the dimensions specified in the cut list. Now that all of our pieces have been cut, we will assemble the cube. Go slowly and be patient. Cleanliness and accuracy are important at this stage. Take 2 of your 6-inch pieces and line them up on the grid of the cutting mat, and press the miter joints together without any glue. This dry fit step is a way to double check your cut and make sure that you will get a clean fit that produces a square 90-degree corner. Check your angle against the grid of your cutting mat. If it looks good, smear some wood glue onto both surfaces of the joint, enough to thoroughly lubricate both sides. Clean up as you go along. and press the joint together. Keep the two pieces of wood flat on the table and lined up with your grid. Hold the two pieces firmly together for 1 minute. Use a damp rag to wipe away any excess glue that squeezes out of the joint. Remember to keep your combination square clean. If glue dries in the joint of the square, its accuracy will be distorted. After a minute, gently tape the joint in place and set it aside to dry. Repeat this process with the other 6-inch pieces until you have glued up 4 perfectly right-angled L shapes. Let everything dry for about an hour. Don't touch it or move it. Let it sit. Clean up as you go along. Using your sandpaper. After an hour, remove the tape and lightly sand the joint smooth. Go with the grain of the wood. Remember to sand both sides. Do this for all 4 of your right-angled L shapes. Now that all 4 pieces are dry, we will glue the 90-degree L's together in pairs to produce 2 perfect squares that will be the top and bottom faces of our final cube. Line them up on the grid of the cutting mat and press the miter joints together without any glue. Again, make sure that you will get a clean fit that produces square 90-degree corners. Check your angles against the grid of your cutting mat. If it looks good, smear wood glue onto the surfaces of the joints. Apply enough glue to thoroughly lubricate both sides. Accuracy, not speed, is important at this stage. Wipe up any glue on your mat. Hold the 2 pieces firmly together for 1 minute. Use a damp rag to wipe away any excess glue that squeezes out of the joint. Gently tape the joint in place. Flip and tape the other side. Then set it aside to dry. Repeat the process for the remaining 2 right-angled L shapes. Let everything dry for about an hour. Remove the tape and sand the joint smooth. Now we have 2 6-inch by 6-inch squares. When the 2 square faces are completely dry, we will glue our 5-inch lengths between the faces to produce the vertical edges of the cube. Stand one square face up on your cutting mat so that it stands up straight and lines up with the grid of the mat. Tape it down tight. Use one of your pieces of wood to press the tape firmly down onto the mat. Place one of your 5-inch legs flat on your mat so that it butts up against the miter of the square face. Make sure to line it up on the grid of the mat so that the 5-inch leg runs exactly perpendicular to the face of the square. Apply the glue and hold it in place for 1 minute. Repeat this process again for the next leg. Glue and hold it in place for 1 minute. Clean up as you go along. Then sandwich the legs between the two faces. If the dry fit looks good, glue it up. Make sure you check your angle with your carpenter square to make sure that it's exactly 90 degrees. Flip it over and repeat the process for the remaining 2 legs. You may need to expand the faces slightly in order to fit in the remaining legs. Once you're done, you will have a 6-inch by 6-inch cube. Now we will add our truss pieces to give the cube stability. The trusses will give the square faces of the cube strength and rigidity by breaking them up into triangles. A square is a flexible shape. A shape with 4 sides of equal length can be assembled with 4 90-degree angles for a total of 360 degrees, resulting in a square. But it could also be assembled with 2 70-degree angles and 2 110-degree angles, also equaling 360 degrees, but creating a rhombus or diamond shape. The mathematics of a quadrilateral or 4-sided figure are flexible, permitting many possible combinations of angles. This mathematical flexibility translates into actual physical flexibility. Because the shape can take many forms, it can flex under pressure and be pushed out of the square configuration that is essential to our cube and into one of the many possible diamond-shaped configurations permitted by the open-ended rules of quadrilaterals. A triangle is not flexible in this way. Take, for instance, an equilateral triangle with 3 legs of equal length. There is only one possible combination of angles that this shape can have. All 3 of the interior angles must equal 60 degrees for a total of 180 degrees. There are no other possible combinations of angles that will produce an equilateral triangle. If any of the angles change, the triangle must break open and cease to be a triangle. This is true of all triangles. They are mathematically rigid. The absolute inflexibility of the equation that defines a triangle translates into physical strength and rigidity. Lay your cube down flat on your cutting mat. Dry fit 4 trusses into the face of the cube that is sitting on the mat. Lightly sand your pieces as needed to achieve a snug fit, then glue them in. Apply a generous amount of glue to each of the ends of the truss pieces. Remember to wipe away any excess glue that squeezes out using a damp rag. Repeat this process for each of the 6 faces of the cube. When all of your glue joints have dried completely, lightly sand all of the joints until they are smooth to the touch. If there are any small gaps, they can be filled with a mixture of wood glue and sawdust from your miter box. Once your wood paste is dry, it can be sanded smooth using 100 or 120 grit sandpaper. You can make an effective sanding block by folding your sandpaper around a scrap piece of wood. Go with the grain of the wood. If your trussed cube is constructed with accuracy, it will be incredibly strong in proportion to its weight. This is the power of linear form, strength without weight.